Perfect. So we are going to start laying down on our backs. And we'll start perhaps with the knees bent. That will give us just a little bit more support for the lower back. Hi Candice, the recording has started. We're just laying on our backs. So knees bent, nice and soft. You might even want to position the feet a little further apart and maybe even roll the knees in towards one another so it feels a bit like you're kind of holding in a wee, but that's not, that's not why we're doing it. We're doing it to kind of like allow a little bit of release and opening through the lower back, across the back of the hips. And as you lay here, just make a little adjustment to draw the shoulder blades together so that you're resting on the flats of the shoulder blades. Try positioning the hands either side of the hips, palms turned up towards the ceiling, softening the fingers, softening the jaw, and relaxing the tongue in the well of the mouth. Please just take a moment to scan the body from head to toe. We're just checking in with the body. Picking up on any parts of the body where you know that you hold tension. Or perhaps you can feel any pain, any limitation manifest for you. We all hold our tension differently, but by now you know where to tune in. Send your full attention to any part of the body, asking for a little extra attention. And visualize that with each deeper inhalation, you're sending the breath here. Inhaling deeply, then exhaling fully. Remember to come to the end of each full breath. At this stage, the out breath is probably more important than the in breath. With each exaggerated exhalation, we're shrugging off any cares, any tension of the day. With each deeper inhalation, we're charging the body, sending positive energy to the parts of the body that need it most. Now tonight we're going to be spending a little bit of focus in and around the hip area. So try to imagine sending the breath in and around the right hip socket. Take the breath in and around the left hip socket. And visualize the breath in that space between the hips. So imagine that you are widening and expanding here, creating a release between the hips. And if it feels comfortable for you, start to draw the soles of the feet together. And over the next 2 or 3 exhalations, just allow the knees to roll outward. We're allowing gravity to widen the space between the thighs, releasing the weight, the back of the thighs around the hips, sending the breath in and around the hip joints. Once more, being mindful of releasing any tension you may be holding here. Now let's stay in this supine Baddha Konasana. We'll just work a little on opening out through the upper body. On the next inhalation, lift both arms overhead. On the exhalation, just float the backs of the arms down towards the floor. As you inhale, it might help to widen the arms. As you exhale, a little bend in the shoulders, just to make that action through the chest, through the side of the ribcage more comfortable. Let's take a further full breath rotation, relaxing the weight of the arms towards the floor. For most of us, there'll be a little bit of resistance through the top of the shoulders, perhaps in the side of the ribcage. Maybe even a little more exaggerated lift through the lower back. Let's change the hand position one more time, just to make this a little bit more comfortable. So bring the hands together into an interlock, so you create a little basket with the hands. Rest the back of the head into the open palms, and allow those elbows to widen. You might find that that's a little bit more achievable now to get the full weight of the arms resting to the floor. Inhaling between elbow to elbow. As you exhale, draw the heels a little closer towards the ground. On the next inhalation, widen between the knee to the knee. On the exhalation, release the inner thighs. Take one further full breath rotation here. Inhaling now to release the hands from the back of the head, repositioning the hands either side of the hips. Inhale to squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. As you exhale, draw the shoulder blades together and widen the arms, turning the palms up towards the ceiling, creating almost a T shape with the hands. Follow the nose rather than the chin. As you exhale, turn your gaze over the right shoulder, looking all the way along the length of that arm towards the middle finger in that hand. On an inhale, widen fingertip to fingertip, cross the chest. On an exhale, engage the core. On an inhale, lift the nose and roll the head all the way to the other side, exhaling to release. Inhale again to feel that space between fingertip to fingertip. Exhaling to engage the core, rolling the nose back again to center. On the next inhalation, lift those arms overhead again, this time keeping the arms nice and long, taking the full length of the arms overhead, resting the backs of the hands to the floor. Again, perhaps a little resistance at the back of the ribcage. Breathe into that space. On the next out breath, engage the core, slide the thighs towards one another, and reposition the hands either side of the hips. Now let's step the feet all the way apart so that they are resting on the edges of the mat. If you're wide on your mat, don't go all the way to the end, you'll be doing the splits. Let's bring those hands up a little higher. So again, shoulder blades drawn together. Perhaps positioning the hands away from the body in line with the waist. On the out breath, roll both knees to the right side. As you allow that left knee to release to the floor, you might feel a little lift behind the left hip, under the left buttock. Inhale to swoop the knees through center. Exhale to roll the knees to the opposite side. Inhale, swish all the way to the right again. And next exhalation, swish all the way to the left. So work with the rhythm of your breath to create almost like a windscreen wiper action, releasing the knees from one side to the other, creating a little space behind the hips. Bring the knees back again to center. And we'll walk the feet a little closer together. So we're feeling the heels in line with the hips, insides of the feet parallel. Repositioning the hands out behind the hips, shoulder blades drawn together. Try to keep the knees tracking in line with the hips and the ankle as you inhale to push down into the soles of the feet and lift the bottom from the floor. So a nice, comfortable, gentle, supported bridge pose here. Inhaling to press the shins forward, to lift the thighs higher, opening through the collarbones, lifting the sternum up towards the chin. Focus on a further full inhalation, pressing the shins forward, creating a little more space through the front of the thighs. Then as you come to the exhale, start at the space between the shoulder blades and slowly and gently roll down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Take time through the middle back into the lower back. Try not to rush. Then when you're ready, hug both knees in towards the chest. So with the hands rested on the knees, imagine you're drawing circles with the knees. So we're rolling through the back of the hips. We're taking the circles to the right, then changing direction, drawing those circles to the left. As you return to centre, let's take the knees in opposite directions. So it's almost like you're stirring the knees away from one another. So this is waking up that hip joint, changing direction, taking those circles the opposite way. Lovely. Come back again to centre, hug the knees in towards the chest. Apply a little extra pressure here, just so that you can feel the arms pushing the middle back to the floor, and it creates a little extra lift behind the sternum, behind the sacrum, into the lower back. Let's cross the feet at the ankles. Create a little gap between the knees. You don't have to exaggerate this, just a little bit of a gap. Enough to get your hands through that gap, taking hold of the outside edge of the ankles, and draw the ankles a little bit closer to the body. So again, we're back into that tight space at the back of the sacrum. For most of us, this is an area that very rarely has a stretch. So just enjoy leaning into that release. Then let go of the ankles. Replace both feet onto the mat. Take those arms out again to create that T shape. Again, the heels are positioned in line with the hips, so the knees are a little closer together than with the first time we did this action. On the out breath, we're taking the knees to the right. Much more exaggerated now, we can feel that left hip heel from the floor. Try turning your gaze over the length of the left arm. Keep that left shoulder relaxed, up and down. As you inhale, visualize the breath traveling from the right palm to the left palm. Lifting the knees through centre, then releasing all the way to the opposite side. Again, turning your head over the opposite arm, visualising the breath travelling from palm to palm, and engaging the core, rolling the knees back again through centre. Let's lift the right foot up. Lengthen that right leg up towards the ceiling. We'll start with a pointy toe, just because it looks very glamorous. Then on the out breath, we'll bring that toe towards the shin, pressing a little more keenly through the heel. Don't worry about resistance in the hamstrings, we will get to that later. Inhale to point, exhale to flex. Inhale to point. Come again to flexion, pressing through the heel. Then use the big toe to draw 3 circles in towards the midline of the body. Change direction, take those circles the opposite way. Let's press through the heel a little more keenly again, so we're back into that bigger stretch through the back of the thigh, into the calf. Then soften the knee and allow that ankle to rest on top of the left thigh, so just above the knee joint. Again, focus on the exhalation to engage the core, on the inhalation to lift the left foot from the mat, squeezing that knee in towards the chest. So we're just playing around with that tightness on the outside edge of the right buttock into the right hip. Every out breath, squeezing the knee a little closer. As you exhale, release that foot to the floor. Simple action here, keeping that foot resting on top of the thigh. Exhale to bring that right knee all the way over to the left side, taking your gaze over the length of the right arm. Ideally, we want to keep that right shoulder stuck to the floor, so allow for that twist through the side of the waist, that extra length through the side of the hip and the thigh. Inhaling once more from fingertip to fingertip, exhaling to engage the core and rolling the knees back through centre. Unhook that right foot, lift and lengthen through the left. So you'll actually probably feel this quite exaggeratedly tighter, simply because we've created a little more room to the back of the right leg. So again, we'll work through ankle mobility, pointing and flexing. Don't ram that leg straight, but we're looking towards extending and pressing the heel towards the ceiling. Use the right toe to draw 3 circles in towards the midline of the body. Change direction, take that circle the opposite way. Point through the toe. Come again to flexion, pressing through the heel. Then again, that little bend in the knee, bringing the left ankle to rest on the right thigh. Try not to let that left knee roll out. Keep it just tracking in line with the shoulder. On the out breath, engage the core. On the in breath, lift the right knee, squeeze that knee in. So we're allowing gravity to help us just intensify that opening at the side of the hip. We usually have one side that feels tighter than the other. I'm certainly getting feedback on this side. And then again, as we release out of that tight squeeze, replace the right foot to the floor and simply allow the left knee to drift over to the right side as you turn your head over the left arm. And again, we're getting that twist through the middle, that open through the left side of the rib cage, through the left side of the hip, feeling the weight of the left knee ease into the floor. Inhale from fingertip to fingertip, exhale to engage the core and roll that knee back again through centre. Replace both feet on the mat. Let's now draw the right knee in. Hands can either be to the shin or to the back of the thigh, wherever is comfortable for you. We'll start with a straight action as we just almost draw the knee up towards the chest, I guess. Then on the out breath, redirect the knee out towards the right shoulder. So there's just a gentle opening into the inner thigh. Now at this point, it helps to take the right arm to the inside of that bent knee. And we're either going to take hold of the toe, the ankle, wrap the hand around the foot, wherever you can reach. Get rid of the left arm, take it out as a T shape to the side. Make sure that you feel equally weighted through the shoulders. Then on the inhalation, press that right heel straight up towards the ceiling. So you're still holding the toe or the ankle. So for most of us, we're going to still have a big bend in the knee, but we can feel we're working hard. Now try to picture that you are tucking that right knee into your armpit. So you're gently drawing that foot down, pressing the knee in towards the armpit area. Beautiful. You might want to adjust the position of the hand. For me, I'm going to take my hand just to the hem of my leggings, and I'm going to change the angle as I push through the heel. This was where I said earlier in the message, if you have a strap, you might prefer to use one. The intention here is to get the leg long and to take the stretch into the inner thigh. Just try not to cause yourself too much tension at the back of the knee. As you exhale, engage the core, bring that knee back into centre, replace that foot to the floor. So same sequence on the other side, the left knee comes in straight, we're positioning the knee up towards the chest, and we're working with the breath to reposition the knee out towards the shoulder. So we're starting that gentle opening in the inner thigh. We want to get rid of the right arm, take it out as a T, bring the left hand to the inside of the bent knee, either holding the big toe, the ankle, the foot, push through the heel. We'll go straight up to begin with. Then again, we want that sense of almost pulling the heel in towards the armpit. Then we'll walk the hand a little further in. So I'm going to now try and hold the sole of the foot as I push the left foot away and find that deeper stretch in the inner thigh. Beautiful. Work with the breath, inhale to widen, exhale to engage the core, bring that heel back in through centre. Let's bring the right knee in and we'll hug again both knees in towards the chest. Let's again widen the knees, taking hold of either the feet, the ankles or the toes, whatever is your preference. We're drawing the knees back and out. Then press the heels up towards the ceiling. So we want to take as much length into the back of the legs as we can here. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. Press through the heels. Exhale, see if you can take the feet a little wider. If you need to bend the knees to relieve the hamstrings, then please do so. Stay in that nice wide open position. Let's see if we can gently rock through the back of the hips, taking us from one side to the other. Just enough control to stop us from rolling over. Bring yourself back again to centre. Slide the feet towards one another. Take the feet from the hands from the feet, hug the knees in towards the chest. Then replace both feet onto the floor. So take a moment now to roll yourself to whichever side feels comfortable for you as we come up into a seated position. Fine. So in our seated position, straight back into Baddha Konasana. So we did this lying on our back. Some people prefer it on their back. I do find it a little bit more challenging because I think that gravity pulls your knees a little wider apart. As soon as we do it in a seated position, then we fall into bad habits of rolling forward. So think again about that lovely line behind the back of the head to the tailbone, drawing the heels a little closer, spreading the knees a little wider. As we just did lying on our backs, we'll just recruit a little bit of balance to repeat some of those actions. Grabbing hold of the right foot as we push the heel away, keeping nice and centred through the midline. And it might help to take the opposite arm out. It sometimes just assists with balance. So the focus here is on pressing the heel away, lifting the sternum and engaging the core. Bring that foot back to centre, opposite hand to opposite foot. So again, you realign. Press through the heel, widen the opposite arm. Think about the core engagement that will protect the lower back. Then as you exhale, engage the core, bring both feet to centre. Keep that core engagement. Try not to roll back onto the tailbone. Lift and extend. So be mindful here about the position of the chin. We don't want to be looking up. So try to bring the gaze forward, lift, lift, lift through the sternum, press through the heels. Beautiful. And bring the soles of the feet back together. Good. I'm only going to do one sort of seated posture tonight. I'm just going to do, I actually can't remember the name of it, but there you go. This is what happens when you get to 54. You're perimenopausal, you just forget whole chunks of words. So I'm going to bring the left heel in towards the groin. So I almost feel as though that heel is right underneath my, what's the polite word? Manuli nanny. I've never used a word like that in my life, but it sounds polite. Then we're going to bring the right foot, and we want to try to bring that on top of the left thigh. Couldn't remember right from left here. So can you see what's happening? The knees should be kind of equal distance from the floor. There's every chance that one knee is up here. Most of us have that tightness. So we're working again with the inner thigh to rotate outwards to release. And ideally, you don't really want to be feeling this as a tense moment in the ankle. So if this is giving you pain, we'll just back off from it. We'll come back down to stacking the foot in front of the ankle. That's your alternative. There's a few puzzled looks going on, like, what? Let's get rid of the right foot. We're going to bring that one in now. So placing the heel again just underneath the groin. Sometimes a little lift up and then a replace back down can help. So your options are to bring the left foot on top of the right thigh. On this side, I can't get anywhere near it, so I've got this big gap of the knee to the floor. So I know that this is not the optimum posture for me on this side. On this side, I'm stacking the heels one in front of the other and coming to Apanasana. I did remember it. Then as you exhale, we'll use the hands just to hold the upper body weight. We're gently going to take a little walk forward. So you'll kind of agree that you can feel that in the inner thighs, in and around the hips. It's very gentle. As you exhale, perhaps focus on bringing the forearms to the floor, so releasing the elbows. When you start to feel the upper back round to get this posture, bring yourself back to lifting the gaze forward, drawing the shoulder blades together. Consider more leading with the sternum as you ease that weight of the upper body towards the mat. Beautiful. Then as you exhale, engage the core, walk the hands back again towards the ankles. Nice. Take the legs wide, but just so that we're not hammering the hamstrings, there's one little foot just on camera there. Just to prove to you that Joe is actually in the room with me. Take a little lift behind the knees, so you've got a little gap here. Sometimes if we press the thighs to the floor, it kind of restricts what movement we can get in the hips. So let's once more have that thought of walking the hands forward. Rather than getting all the way down, I'm going to swing the arms out so that they almost take the weight behind the calves. Lift the sternum forward, ease the elbows towards the floor, and bring the chest parallel to the mat. There's a lot going on there. My inner thighs are screaming. Replace the hands under the shoulders, push into the palms, lift the gaze to the end of the fingers and walk back towards the centre. Oh my goodness me. Whose idea was it to do this tonight? Just to release that little bit, bring the soles of the feet together, lift up and lengthen out of the sit bones. We're not going to make this a big exaggerated move, so don't think about getting the belly onto the thigh, because in fairness, we'll probably not get there tonight. Let's just walk a little bit down the thighs, trying to keep a diagonal. So all we want to avoid is being in so much of a rush that we curve the spine. So keep nice and lengthened. And if it helps, you might want to bring the hands to shoulder height. Sometimes that just gives you a focus to extend the arms forward, almost as though you're being pulled into this position. Back into the hamstrings rather than the inner thighs. Beautiful. We won't pin up, replace the hands on top of the thighs, push into the thighs, inhale to lift, 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 back to centre. Lovely. Can we take it up onto our feet, please? Beautiful. You can take it up, it might roll over when we get here. Okay, let's take it nice and steady. So we'll take the feet a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart, inside of the feet parallel. For now, let your knees be soft, bring your hands to the hips. Then as you exhale, just simply hinge forward into a 90-degree angle. When you get to that sense where the spine is parallel with the ceiling, let's make little adjustments by pressing the sit bones back. Let's try to lift the tailbone, and you'll start to feel that you're ironing out the back of the thighs, a little bit into the hamstrings. If it starts to come into the knees, then we just back off a little, pressing the sit bones back, lifting the tailbone again, extending the sternum forward. Beautiful. Now bring the fingertips towards the floor. I mentioned earlier that if you have bricks to hand, you might want to use them. Having a brick just gives you that little bit of extra space towards the floor. With every out-breath, walk the hands a little further forward. The same rules apply as we just did in the seated posture. We don't want to be in such a rush that we curve the spine. Personally, for me, I find heel-toeing the feet a little wider when I get to this position, easier. I've got more space in the inner thigh than I have in the hamstring, but we're all different. So keep walking the hands forward, pushing the sit bones back, lifting the tailbone, easing the elbows towards the floor. Then when you get to the stage where you feel balanced, you're not going to lose your balance, but you're mindful that you're really opening out the backs of the thighs. Let's take those hands behind the back. How do I say this? You're walking the hands on the floor, behind the heels, underneath the body, keeping the tailbone lifted. So I'm aiming to get the palms flat to the floor, the tailbone lifted, remaining wide through the chest, shoulder blades drawn together. Then reposition the hands underneath the shoulders just to give a little bit of stability. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. Walk your weight over onto that left foot, knee bent. Rotating the right toe up towards the ceiling. So the right leg is extended, the toe is up, the left knee is bent. And in my case, I've got the heel up on that foot, resting on the ball of the foot. I'm not keen on getting that foot flat to the floor. And we'll simply transition, opposite side. So the right knee is bent, the left leg is straight. And for now, we're taking our weight forward, we're just allowing ourselves to lean into the hands. In a moment, we won't do that. And it's hard when you're kind of your space. Candice, try doing it so that you're on your mat the same orientation as me. So even if you can't see me, just trust the words. Beautiful. Come back over to that first side. Get yourself into a more centered, balanced position. Because I want you to have the confidence to lift one hand from the floor, lift another hand from the floor, and then bring the hands to an Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Woo. Switch it to the opposite side. So again, try one hand, both hands up, find that center. Beautiful, nice work. Then replace both hands, swing back to center. You might find that you can get the palms fully to the floor now. Let's heel toe the feet a little wider still. Spread the toes, reconnect the toes with the mat. Soften the elbows, but lengthen through the legs. Lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Bring the forearms towards the floor. Aim to walk the top of the head towards the floor. Might not get all the way down. Again, if you have a brick, you might want to just fill the gap. And to avoid rushing out of this position, let's start by pushing into the forearms, lifting the upper body through the palms of the hands, bringing the gaze to the end of the fingertips. I'm going to reposition the hands under the shoulders. We're once more going to heel toe the feet a little closer. Take a big old bend in the knees. Kind of looks like a bit of a funny squat. Bring the hands onto the thighs, but keep looking down at the floor. Keep looking down at the floor as you push into the thighs, push into the feet. Start to bring the upper body up. Keep looking down at the floor. Then after a beat, lift the gaze and either step or jump the feet together. Lovely work. The rest of it's going to be a walk in the park now because we're nice and limber around the hips. Beautiful. So let's focus on the right leg. Let's take the right foot away from centre, turning that toe away so that the inside of the foot is parallel to the edge of the mat. Then just to give ourselves enough space, we're going to take that left foot wider. It's important that that left foot is parallel so it acts as a bit of a stopper. And just to be fancy, just to make sure that our hips and all of our joints are in the right position, have a glance down. In an ideal world, the front heel will be halfway in line with the back foot. So if they joined up, they would make a T. Super. So in this position, it feels a bit strange to the body. You almost feel as though you should be leaning in that direction. Let's make a concerted effort to make sure the shoulders are stacked over the hips. To avoid any tension in the knee, let's slacken it off. Let's roll that knee over the ankle. So you kind of want to visualise that that knee is resting or pointing towards the second toe. Then float the arms up. Perfect. So straight line again from fingertip to fingertip. Remember, whenever we do that open action, we breathe from fingertip to fingertip, widening through the heart space. Then as you exhale, I simply want you to push into that front leg and straighten, lengthen that leg. Keep that lovely long line, the hips facing forward. Denise, you're leaning a little bit. If you just bring that left, yes, perfect. On the next out breath, let's extend the right arm. So we're now having that little lean that we allow. Bring that right arm down so that the palm is in front of the knee. Lift the left hand up. So there's a moment here we're just going to do a tiny bit of correction. You can either look down towards the floor, or if it doesn't make you dizzy, you can look up towards that left hand. Draw the shoulder blades together so you really open through the chest. Your choice whether this front leg remains straight, or if you need a little softness in the knee. As you exhale, deepen into that left side of the waist and ribcage so that you can slide the fingertips towards the floor, keeping a triangle shape. Beautiful. So if you're dizzy looking up, you can look down. Exhale, engage the core. Inhale, lead with the left hand to bring yourself back again to that centered position. So once more, we're stacking shoulders over hips, not having both the lean. Come into that front knee again, so we're taking it out over the second toe. So my tip here is not to start with too big a bend on the front knee, because then you'll have nowhere left to go. My second tip is take the back foot further away. And I need everyone to just have a little feel where your hips are. There's a little bit of this going on. Can we come back to here? Widen the arms, that knee over the second toe. Then as you exhale, the action is that you're bringing your sit bones towards the mat. We don't want to travel, we want to lower. Beautiful. Very good work. It's almost as if you can talk really well. Now take that right forearm, park it over the thigh, bring that left arm over the top. Again, that little moment of adjustment as you rotate the side of the ribcage to the ceiling, I think it helps you just tuck the chin into the armpit, lengthen through the fingertips. So you feel like you're pushing into that left foot, pushing through the fingertips of the left hand. Now let's take that left hand, sink it into the back of the hip. As you inhale, lift the right arm up into a reverse. Beautiful. So exhale, Parsvottanasana. Inhale, reverse, warrior. Exhale, Parsvottanasana. Inhale, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, one more time. Keep that rib cage open. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float back into warrior two. Turn the gaze over the fingertips, nice and soft. Inhale, widening from fingertip to fingertip. Exhale, release the hands by your side. Inhale, push into that right leg. Bring that toe to face forward. And take the opposite toe the opposite way. Beautiful. So remember, for most of us it helps to have a little bit of slack in the knee to begin with. You can always straighten that leg as we come into the triangle. Hips facing forward. Widen through the arms. Beautiful. Now take that tiny little lean. So it's not, I hate the word lean, I should say extension really. Then we're bringing the back of the left hand to the inside of that thigh. Push up through the fingers of the right hand. So what we're aiming for here is to take that bend out the front leg, to rotate the right side of the ribcage towards the ceiling, to exhale, to bring the fingertips almost to the floor. The further forward you come, the more likely you are to be leaning forward. So really focus on that opening through the side of the ribcage. Visualize again pushing down into the sole of the right foot, lifting through that right hand, coming back again to center, widening the arms, softening the knee, coming into the warrior two. Warrior two works best if you just turn the gaze over the front arm. It just keeps you balanced, keeps you centered. As we did before, we're coming into the Parsvottanasana. So bring the forearm onto the thigh. Right arm really opens up over the top of the right ear. Turn and tuck that chin into the armpit. It will help to remind you to keep the chest open. Inhale, sink the right hand behind the hip. Lift up. Exhale. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale. One more release. Let's take an extra moment here to rotate that ribcage open. Then push again into the sole of the foot. Float the arms back to warrior two. Turn the gaze over the front arm. The jaw should be soft. The eyebrows relaxed. Exhale to ease a little deeper. So we're not traveling, we're lowering down. Beautiful. Then float your arms down by your side. Push into that left leg. Turn the toes forward. As you exhale, once more, hinge at the hips. Bring the fingertips towards the floor, much easier. Walk the hands a little further forward, give yourselves lots of space. Make sure the insides of the feet remain parallel, that we're not turning the toes out. Lift the tailbone. Exhale, bring the elbows towards the floor. Bring the top of the head towards the floor. Use a break if needed. One further full breath rotation. On the next inhale, push into the forearms, into the palms. Rest the gaze at the end of the fingertips, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Heel toe again, the feet a little closer together. Bring the hands onto the thighs, keep looking down at the floor. Keep looking down at the floor as you push into the thighs, lift the upper body up, and then step the feet together. What a beautiful sequence that was. So in Tadasana now, keeping the insides of the feet parallel, just to take away from all this action that's going on in the inner thighs, let's come back again to the outside of the thighs. So take the left foot, walk it behind the right. So you kind of, again, you feel as if you're needing a wee and you're stopping yourself from going. Don't know why that keeps coming to my head tonight, maybe that's subliminal. We'll park the left hand on the left hip, lift up through the right hand, press through the fingertips, come over the midline of the body. Think about all the stretch happening in the waist, don't overdo it in the upper body. And inhale, lift, come back to centre, step the opposite foot behind. So again, this time we've got right hand on hip, left hand elevated, exhale, hinge over. Then inhale, lift, come back to centre, replace the hand by your side. I'm going to turn side on just so that you can see the shape. So we're back to those dreaded hamstrings again. I know I need a bend in the knee, so I'm going to take it. So notice that the insides of the feet are parallel once more. We don't have the feet hip width apart, they're back to Tadasana style. As you exhale, hinge, 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 come into your 90-degree angle here. So no big sudden movements here, we're just subtly working with that little bit of extra length. Again, pushing the sit bones back, perhaps lifting the tailbone. Let's see if we can create a little extra weight through the upper body by wrapping the hands around the elbows. On the out breath, bring the elbows, bring the forearms parallel to the floor. When it feels comfortable to do so, tuck the chin under, bringing the top of the head parallel to the floor. Because of it on our legs, you probably feel that your legs are quivering a little bit, that's okay. We're really going to try to lift and lengthen, straightening the backs of the legs. For those of us who tighten the hamstrings, this is pretty awful. So we're going to keep the head hanging forward, so the top of the head is parallel to the floor. Then bring the hands onto the thighs. Exhale, engage the core. Inhale, push into the thighs. One movement as you unhinge, lift up. Beautiful. Take the right hand to the left shoulder. Bring the left arm underneath and scoop it round to the right. Think about your Tadasana pose. Avoid, if you can, this action. Try to keep the thighs pressed back, the tailbone tucked under, so you can still feel a little bit of core engagement. Underside of the chin parallel to the floor as we turn and look over the right shoulder. Bring the gaze back to centre, look over the left shoulder. Come back again to centre, separate the arms. Opposite arm on top, so again just a hug. This time we're lowering the chin towards the chest. Just taking a couple of breaths here through the wide space at the back of the ribcage. Then as you exhale, release the hands. As you inhale, lift the head. Beautiful. You can now lay down on the floor. There's a few little happy dances there. Perfect. So your choice if you want to dim the lights, if you need to pull on a blanket, because it is getting a little bit chillier. Full confession here, I drove here with my hoodie on, so I actually have my hoodie hanging in the corner, just in case I get cold. Can't really do yoga in an hoodie though, there's not enough room. So we've done quite a lot of work through the back of the hamstrings, into the lower back, really particularly into the inner thighs. So even if you normally bend your knees, you might find that tonight you can fully extend into Shavasana. If you really don't want to lie down because you think it's going to get you into too soporific a state, then you are very welcome to stay seated. Just remind yourself to relax the jaw, to soften the muscles of the face, and to turn your focus to the breath. Slowing the breath down, deepening the inhalation, lengthening the exhalation, sending the breath to the parts of the body that need healing. As you allow your body to relax and be still, feel the muscles soften and lengthen. Notice yourself mindfully unclench, releasing the weight of your body into the floor. Notice, without judgment, any sensations that arise anywhere in the body. Acknowledge these sensations. Ask what they need. Pay attention. Always avoiding any judgment. Simply stay aware and sensitive to the messages the body sends. Bring the focus of your awareness to the breath. Aware of the depth, the pace of your breath. An awareness that your breath is becoming slower, softer, and deeper. Inhale through the nose. Feel your abdominal area rise. Feel your abdominals soften and fall as you exhale. As you inhale, feel that sense of positive energy recharging through your entire body. As you exhale, feel the breath flowing upwards and out of the body, carrying away tension, any negative energy. Remain connected to the sensations, feelings of the body, giving permission for the body to release and relax. As you breathe in love, breathe out tension. Breathe in harmony. Breathe out discord. Breathe in healing. Breathe out dis-ease. Remain focused on the breath. Take your breath slower and deeper still. Breathe in love. Breathe out tension. Breathe in harmony. Breathe out discord. Breathe in healing. Breathe out dis-ease. Focus on breathing in joy and love. And giving yourself space to allow the body to heal. Allowing your positive thoughts to assist in healing. Release any negative self-talk. Let go of any blocks to well-being. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Then allow yourself to sigh. Let go. Breathe in love. Breathe out tension. Breathe in harmony. Breathe out discord. Breathe in healing. Breathe out dis-ease. Remain tuned into the breath. Allow your body to share what it needs to heal. And permit yourself for a rare few moments quiet and calm. With every breath, feeling the body relaxing deeper still. Remain aware of the body, breath, and your space within this room. Remain here and now. Allowing the body and the breath to flow together. Shanti. 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 Om. Take a deep breath in through the nose and noisier breath out through the mouth. A deep breath in through the nose. Allow yourself an audible sigh. Start to make little movements now to return sensations of the physical body. Within the fingers and toes, below the jaw and the nose. Allow a long stretch through the body. And as you exhale, hug the knees once more to the chest, releasing the lower back. Then finding your way to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to an anjali. Touch to the head for kind thoughts, to the lips for kind words, and to your heart for kind intentions. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you very much. Sorry, I was so in the zone there that I forgot I had to stop the recording. So lovely to see you all. I hope you're well.